And we are live. And today, what we are going to talk about today is actually lead magnets. And this is a fairly spontaneous live that Angela and I are doing. And the reason why we're focusing on lead magnets today is because the last couple of weeks, I have gotten so many comments and requests from people saying, I think I need a lead magnet. And I absolutely agree, but you don't just need any lead magnet. You need to have the lead magnet that really works now. And we are going to cover why the old traditional lead magnets don't work any longer. And we are going to cover the lead magnet that actually works today and does way more than just what the old regular lead magnets did before. So if you haven't seen me before, my name is Josefine Wanner, and I'm here today with my precious business partner and guest, Angela Sandust. And we are so happy that we get to present this to you today. So, Angela, just quickly, who are you and what is it that you do?
Yeah, so excited to be here live with you. So my name is Angela, and I'm a virtual event sales expert. So what I do is that I help our clients build high converting events. So we take leads and turn them from cold to sold within days using virtual events, and also the leverage of selling one-to-many instead of selling one-to-one. But it's not only about that. We use them, of course, what we're going to talk about today, but also audience growth, list growth, and also claim our category online. So that is what I do, and together with Josefine, and I'm so excited to be here today.
Me too. And maybe just to share a little bit of a personal story, I created a lead magnet, a regular one. I have a checklist. It's still active. It's not as if they don't really kind of like, you still attract people. But what I noticed was that I had over 800 people on my email list that had downloaded my LinkedIn checklist, and they had done nothing afterwards. I don't know if they had implemented it. I don't know if they found it useful, because they hadn't even taken a step to attend any of my free events or anything. They just sat there on my email list. And depending on the email list provider that you also then pay for these people. So they are a little bit like dead weight, I would almost call it. So that is why we need a lead magnet that doesn't only build your list, doesn't only attract people to your email list. They actually need to take a step closer, because we are here to do business. You are here to do business. You are here to get clients, right? Just to collect names or email addresses on your email list, that's not going to help you make any revenue in your business. So the one specific lead magnet that we are going to talk about today is what Angela just said. It's the virtual events. And what that does is it helps you to build trust. It shortens your sales buying cycle. We're going to cover all of these things inside of today's live. And it also grows both your social media audience, but also your list with the right people, because that is important too. We're not just growing an audience with completely strangers. That is what we're talking about when we're talking about this particular lead magnet. So tell me, Angela, why do you think that the old traditional lead magnets doesn't work any longer?
It's a combination. So first of all, it's a combination of accessibility of information, because a lead magnet, like we used to build them, like some kind of digital thing, that information is already accessible very easily through ChatGPT or something else. And so to have a strong lead magnet, you need a back-end system that moves these people from cold to sold after they have downloaded the lead magnet. And that is sometimes not as easy as it sounds to build out that, like you shared your own story, to build out that back end. So they kind of fall off. And you can't stay on top of mind, because they stop opening your emails, they don't register for your events, and so forward. But I would say the accessibility information is the biggest one. And also, how many of us have downloaded a freebie of some kind and we never open it? Never. It just sits on the drive, and on the drive, it makes no sense to have it on the drive. So I think those is a combination of a lot of some things that makes these old types of lead magnet harder to move people from cold to sold. And that is, of course, why I love virtual events so much, since it covers all the things you need to take someone from cold to sold in one go.
What I also did, another mistake I did in the past was like, I just need a lead magnet. I need any lead magnet, and created one that I wasn't really that proud of, right? Then it's very hard to share about it because you're not really proud of it. And then if you would share about it, someone lands on your list, but it's not like a clear path to move them anywhere close because it's completely disconnected to what it is that you're actually helping people with. So that is also another reason for these virtual events, because they are strategically designed and built so that they will, first of all, attract the right people. Then you kind of get to connect with these people. They get to know, like, and trust you. And then you move them closer to your offer, right? But maybe we should talk a little bit more about that. Maybe you could just give like a very, very high level, Angela, like what are the pieces we need to create like a high converting live virtual event? I know this is a very deep topic, and you're going to teach about this topic for 2 days soon. But still, kind of like, how can we kind of like, if you can give us a little bit like a very high level of what that is.
Absolutely. And of course, the first of all is something that we already touched. You need the right people. You need the right people inside of the room, because otherwise you invite, what I usually say, you invite cat people and then you sell some dog thing at the end. It's not gonna, there is no alignment. So it always starts outside of the event with the messaging. The beautiful thing with the virtual event that is live, I teach doing live events, is that you have a two-way communication. So you learn, you're doing clients' language very well when you do this in cycles. So you run one event and then you run it again and again, and you just keep on going. And every cycle, you are also going to build expertise around your topic, the way that you speak, and all those kind of things. But that helps also in the front end, and you're going to get more of the right people inside. But what then have happened, I mean, I have been doing virtual events since 2017. I launched my first 5-day challenge 2017. And the only thing I needed to do back then was teach. I could just teach in a topic, hope people got inspired. And then I handed out an invitation saying, hey, come and join my program. And people just bought. That doesn't work anymore, since the accessibility of information today is, we are overloaded with it. We already have the information, and information alone doesn't create transformation. So you need a content that drives decisions inside of whatever it is that you kind of share, whatever topic it is. The content needs to be built so it moves people from where they are entering the event into your offer. So I usually say that we create decision-making content. So the content drives the decision that your dream clients already know that they have to do. And then, of course, the invitation. At the end, we built event to sell something. You can run events just to build your list, and you can run events to do a lot of things. The events that we built are mainly to sell. So we have some kind of information, and then you need to have an offer that is a match for the people that have entered the event. So I would say those three things: the messaging in the front end, the content that drives decision inside of the event, so we don't overteach and do those things that overwhelm our audience, and then a very clear invitation at the end for something that is a match for the audience. And the whole experience in itself is, of course, built on energy. And I usually say that it's not so much what you do as it is who you are when you do it. So, of course, when you run it in cycles, you are going to grow as a speaker, and it's going to have higher and higher energy. So that is kind of the overall how you build. Of course, it's more than that, how to build an event.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of like a two-way communication, we are actually live right now. If someone is watching us live, add a comment. We will be able to respond to it immediately. If you're watching the replay of this, because it stays up on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, then add your comment afterwards, and we will be able to follow up on that comment too, because that is so important. I think that is really what makes live events, compared to like a downloadable PDF, is like the biggest difference. You get to really connect with your audience. And we also, you and I, Angela, we run our events on Zoom. So we get to see our people who are there. Though the people that show up live, we get to really connect with them. We get to hear and understand their questions that you can't really do in like when someone downloads your PDFs, right? You don't get an instant feedback on what's working, what's not working, what are the challenges, right? Where can you change and adjust your messaging? Yeah.
And I mean, if we look at that emotional connection, connection that a virtual event actually do, that a PDF file can never do, is one of the biggest buying triggers that we have today. So if we look at what a virtual event do for your business, is of course it's going to generate leads, just like a freebie would have done, but it's going to have higher quality leads. It's going to build trust with those leads because you're going to be live with them. So the trust that is needed to ask for the sale is going to be compressed. And then, of course, we need that to turn that trust into paying clients, and that is the invitation. So it actually do those three things for you, but it also touch into a lot of people's kind of buying triggers. And emotional connection is one of them. And we have urgency, for an example. I usually say a virtual event is an invitation with a deadline. A freebie that you download has no deadline. So people need that urgency to actually make a decision. We have social proof is another one. You show up, share your stories. It's way easier to share stories when you're live with the audience than write them in a PDF. We have reciprocity. It's another buying trigger that we also do. You give value in the event live with the audience. And authority. I mean, when someone stands up and speak, and this is the reason why people want to speak on stages, it builds immediate authority. So as soon as you host an event, especially live, that are going to set you aside from a lot of other people in the online space today, you build an authority immediately, right? And I would say the live components in an event is crucial today because of all the things, copy and paste, that is out there. When you're live with the audience, you can't hide behind perfect copy. You can't hide behind whatever it is. You're actually there live. And that is how it really builds trust very fast, because you are there speaking to your audience in this moment, to them in where they are today, right? So that is some other things that I think it's important. And a normal freebie like a PDF file can't create that in so short time. It's built to have a really strong and back system, and we are not so good at building that back system, so they fall out somewhere. I mean, how many freebies have I created? It's like the list just go on and on and on, and it takes time as well.
And then
right?
when you have done one, you realize, I need to update it. So we actually have Ilana with us.
And I did mine in Canva, and I am not a Canva person. I get so frustrated, and then I ask someone else to do it, and I get it back, and I'm just like, ah. And as you said, when you're not proud of it, it's not just fun to invite people to download it. A virtual event, you're so proud of it, so you just want to go out and tell people that you're hosting this, right? It's not the same with a freebie, not for me anyway.
Exactly. So we have Ilana with us here. It's so lovely to have you here, Ilana. And I agree, because Ilana said, I'm always ready to learn more. And I think we can learn so much from each other. And you and I also attend other people's events, and we make and of course we invest in ourselves too. But you take all of these learnings and then you share it, because I actually took some notes before, because I'm writing to people on my email list to our next, or to your next workshop. And I was like, one thing that really hit me, and I think that is one of our strengths, Angela, like how do you say, like patting our own shoulders here a little bit, but it's like we walk the talk. We teach exactly what it is that we're doing. We are not teaching DM sales, even though we do some kind of DM sales, but that is not our main strategy. We don't teach DM sales, for example, as a sales strategy per se. We teach exactly what it is that we're doing, right?
So I can just quickly share a story combined to that. I think it's so important to kind of walk the walk, right? Whatever you ask your clients to do, you better do them first, right? When I started out 2016, I built a fitness business. That was my first business that I built online. And I was sold a dream, a wish, an idea of evergreen sales by people that didn't do evergreen sales to close those sales. I'm usually very honest with this. I bought an entire app system that should work as my sales system in a 5-day challenge. And it wasn't until a couple of years later when I realized that, oh, the sales system they used was the 5-day challenge, not the app that they told me, right? So
Yeah.
that is an
Yeah.
example. And that is why I so strongly believe that you should walk the walk. Whatever you ask your clients to do, you do them first. You do it first. So sorry to interrupt there. I just wanted to share that story because I think a lot of people can recognize themselves in that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Maybe kind of like if we say, okay, we've talked a little bit like what events is and like the high level structure of that, but maybe someone thinks, okay, but how do they really build my email list? How do they really build my audience? And I'm a huge fan of LinkedIn. But I still believe, or I know that it's LinkedIn, any social media, that's just borrowed land, right? And that is why we need to build our email list at the same time. So we build our audiences on social media, and then we kind of pull those people in. Or pull sounds weird, maybe, but we invite those people into our email list or into our events, and then they are on our email list. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that. Like, how do we build our audiences, and how do we build our email lists with a virtual event?
Yeah, I mean, virtual events like we do, then we run them in cycles. So we run them again and again and again. So we build signature events. So one event sells a specific offer, and then we just run it in cycles. Every cycle generates leads. That is how you grow your list. You go out and invite people to come and join. I'm hosting a free training about XYZ. Would you like to join? Yes, they sign up, a lead. But that stops working if you don't grow your audience or come across new people, because you're going to run out of people to invite. So you need to have a solid kind of system to grow your audience on the platforms that you want to grow, or come across new people. You can come across other people's audiences as well. And we use, of course, I use Facebook has been my main platform. And then I met Josefine and moved also into LinkedIn. You are mainly on LinkedIn. And the strategies there is, of course, to not only grow our own audience, but also come across other people's audiences, like podcasts or other speaking gigs and things like that. Collaboration, speaking like this. We could have been not business partners and done this live together. You speak to my audience, I speak to your audience. When people have the same audiences but serve them in a different way, that is also another way of growing your audience. And then it's, of course, all the things that we work with content creation and those kind of things. Because if you don't come across new people, your pool of people to invite will end up dry. And what happens is that we blame the event, and then we say webinars doesn't work, challenges doesn't work, when in reality there is no more people to sell to. And the whole idea is to get clients and grow our business. So we need that front end to grow. So of course we do it with content posting across platforms, and mainly in your case LinkedIn, and in my mainly Facebook and LinkedIn.
And it's also like going back to what you said in the beginning. It's we're building, becoming the category of one. Like when you own the topic of the event that you're running, people are attracted to that. They want to learn more about that. And I held a physical workshop the other day where I pulled out one piece of my content and taught that live. I have taught my live event or my masterclass, I have taught that live too. So it's like we create one presentation, and then we can use it like in bits and pieces in various, and everything becomes so much easier when it comes to content creation, when it comes to audience growth, when it comes to like being the specialist or being the expert of the topic that you really want to own, and people then are attracted to you. But I also know, and I know from experience, that when I ran my very first event, and it was just like going live the first time again since a couple of months, like last week, that I felt very nervous, right? So how do we overcome? And I know you have like, just do it, dang. And I was like, but how, and I know that that's how we overcome our fears. We have to do it, right? That is how we train the muscle. But how all of our clients face this fear of going, kind of like sharing their messaging the first time. So how would you say to someone who sits there, yeah, sounds like something that I probably not for me? How would you kind of like approach that person, Angela?
I mean, so the first thing I want to say is, of course, just do it. But there is no, I would say there is no growth in the comfort zone. You cannot grow and scale a business staying comfortable, right? You have to step out. And I think it's a good thing to have some nerves and feel a little bit, because that shows that it actually means something for you. Because if this didn't mean anything for you, you wouldn't be nervous because you wouldn't care. But if you feel some kind of tickling feeling, or oh, I'm nervous, or that feeling, then that shows it means something for you. So you can ask the biggest speakers, are you kind of scared, or do you feel nervous? They're going to say yes. But that is the whole idea of it, because that means it means so much for me that I actually get nervous doing it, right? So I think that is important. Another thing that is important is, of course, running the reps of things. And that touched to what you talked about, the topic, because you want to own your space. You want to own a specific topic. For you, it's LinkedIn growth and scalable offers. And for me, it's virtual events and sales system. So you want to claim that, and you need to stay in that long enough for people to start paying attention. And every athlete out there knows that they became the best by running the reps. They didn't show up and they were fastest in the world. They needed to train again and again, over and over and over. And that is the same thing with this type of fear that is really uncomfortable, and holding energy and speak without mumbling and things like that. And that can only comes from running the reps. And unfortunately, a lot of people give up way before they ever become a bold speaker. And they think, yeah, it's not for me, but I can promise you it is for you. And as we said before, it's the best lead magnet you can ever create. That it's going to shorten the buying cycle. And you are meant to be a little bit nervous, because that shows you actually care about what you are doing. So I think it's a good idea, but still, you just have to do it. Right?
Exactly. And to get a little bit more structure, to know exactly what to do. I mean, we've been live here now for 20 minutes, but I know you have an upcoming training over 2 days, because I will be there, of course. So tell us a little bit about the training. Who should register for it? Who would be like the perfect person to join it? And what can they expect to walk away from after those 2 days?
So the perfect person is, of course, someone who wants to sell their offer in a more simple way, because you cannot sell your offer in a more simple way than speak one to many. It costs you absolute. You can do like this, right? But it's also for people who wants to maybe have hosted event. You have hosted event and it didn't work, or you hosted event that did work before and now it just doesn't work anymore. Remember, I started out 2017. I have hosted events in all different markets, how the market has looked like. And the way we run them today doesn't look the same like we did before. So day number one, we're going to look at the overall structure, how a virtual event is going to be your sales engine, your entire sales system, how it can grow your list, whatever, little bit what we talked about today. Day two, we are going to focus more on how the event in itself is built to actually drive that revenue. So it's a two-day training, and they're going to walk away understanding how the sales system works, the overall sales system, but also how the events are built today to actually convert on the level that we want them to convert. We don't build events just for fun. We build them to close more clients and create bigger impact in the world. That is the whole idea, and save us a lot of time, of course. So that is what we are going to do throughout the 2 days live.
Yeah, and you will also share a lot of our case studies, some like what our clients have done, how they have overcome it. Because I think it's like, yeah, easier for you guys to say you've been doing this for years. Yeah, but we have clients who just started out, they're getting amazing results, and you will share about those their results too. Because that is also one thing. We shared this, last week, we shared some client spotlights, because we are so proud of our clients and what they do in the world. So we are going to share about some more case studies, because I also think that we can be inspired by others. And that gives us the belief that if she can do it, I can do it, right? That is when I saw Mel Robbins the first time, I was like, if she can do it, I can do it, right? So that I think is what we're aiming for. So I will share the link to register for the event underneath this video. you will find it. Make sure you register for it, right? Before we take it down again, it's so important that you get to do this now, because this is an event. It will only be for a short period of time, so make sure you register for it, right? So do you want to add any kind of final words, Angela, before we close this?
Yeah, I can just touch on what you talked about a client. Everyone started somewhere, but if you don't start, you cannot get anywhere. And that is the truth, right? I started out years ago, some start out today, but you can't move it forward because you are going to be behind. And if we look how the market looks today, and if you look online with how much information and things like that, the people that go live and move their audience live through decisions is going to have a stronger market space in where we are today. And I want you to leverage that, but that doesn't happen in 5 months. That happens now. So even if you feel scared, you might not feel that you are ready, come and join. Absolutely. And I can promise you, when you leave, you're gonna be so ready to do this.
Can't wait. I can't wait for our event, and I was happy to be here today. I loved going live with you, Angela, today again. We haven't done that for a long time, so we are going to do this more regularly. We haven't set a next date for our combined live, but I will be here next Tuesday again live. So if you have any questions, make sure you add them in the comments below, and make sure you register for the event. Looking forward to see you next week. Bye. Bye.
Bye.